I see faces as they sit beneath the pale lamplight. I have no choice but to follow that call. The bright lights, the people, and the moon and all. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce myself to you. I am Laura Hempel, the precious only child of Rolf and Andrea Hempel, who were locked up in communist East Germany for most of their lives. Now, dreaming wasn't something to be encouraged back then. You had to fit in, to protect your family, and even your closest friends could have been spies, reporting you to the government. Now, it was many years ago that I became what I am. I was trapped in this life like an innocent lamb. Now you will never see my face or hear the sound of my feet, as long as there's a moon over Renfrew Street. Now, when I was done with high school, the wall had been gone for over a decade, and I could have done anything, anywhere. But I didn't know what to do with my life. I was scared of the world, coming to believe that place must be brutal, the way my parents still wanted to keep me close and protect me from it now. That's when I met my first love. He was from capitalist West Germany. My parents hated him, and I had to decide between him and my heritage. Oh. As long as there's a moon over, as long as there's a moon over, as long as there's a moon over and through street. Anyone want a hat or something? Nice catch. Well, the story goes on. I decided to leave my fearful, leery East German nest and follow him to Berlin, the greatest city on the continent. Book your flights tomorrow, EasyJet. We lived there in 2 separate flats. I shared mine with my 2 roommates. One of them was Michael. He had just returned from Bolivia, raving about how gorgeous women are in general, and how he likes to be with women in general. And the other one was DeTute, my first lesbian to run into, because officially in communist East Germany, there was no such thing as a lesbian. It was all about reproduction. Well, she was quite active, because when she retreated in her room with her girlfriend, it sounded like this. Michael and I called it the guinea pig. When I think about it, maybe that's where my obsession with animal sounds come from. Well, when Michael returned home from work, he would go into his room and write me a text message sitting in my room saying, "I can't bear these sounds no longer." And I would say, "Dude, what are you talking about? You should have been here 3 friggin' hours ago." Anyways, they have played quite a big role in my upbringing, as you can see, for I've learned a lot from them, stuff my parents couldn't have taught me, and that's why I want to represent them on stage. So, would anyone care to be the lesbian? Anyone?
I'll do it.
Awesome. What is your name, dear?
Sarah.
You're perfect. Do you play any instruments?
I do actually.
What is it?
The piano.
Oh, coincidence. Would you like to join me on stage, please? Now, what is this? It's one of these capitalist things you don't need. Well, I need someone to represent Michael, and I know there is a really charming someone here tonight. Really charming. It's too bad he has a girlfriend, because I can only ask him for the favor now of representing Michael and playing the bass for me. Dara, would you come on stage, please? And whereas Dirt and Michael would be exhilarated to know that I mentioned their names on stage, my first love really wouldn't be. Which is why I will keep his name a secret, but I will represent them with a drummer, because, you know, drummers are those humble people in the background, having a passion for music, having the best body in the whole band. And I smell them from 2 kilometers away. James Gorman, please help me out. Have you ever thought about these rumors about first love being something special and imprinting? Well, I have always thought that love is a disease. It makes you feel really sick in your stomach, especially if it's unfulfilled. And in communist East Germany, well, falling in love simply meant getting married soon and bearing a first child 7 years earlier than the average woman would in the capitalist West. Because in the East, this was your only chance to get a better flat, get a better job, get a telephone, because it was all the government's decisions. That took quite a while. I had to make up some stories here till James joined me. Well, however, I didn't get pregnant. What is wrong today? Pregnant. Do you know? I didn't get pregnant. Pregnant. And I didn't get married, and I guess that's why my first love did turn out to be something special. He wants to be with everything, under the sun. She wants to burn, hot like that sun, hot like that sun. And like a legend who rises and then falls, I cannot be his only one. And like a fickle flower when it first sees the light, I cannot show just how I felt. Now I was just as much his first love as he was mine. We were 19 when we met. Absolute virgins, for we had even reserved our first kiss for each other. And in the end, we also had to be the ones to first break each other's hearts. I have to pay respects to my stage manager, because this is almost my height. Thank you. It's better, you know, him thinking I was taller than smaller, right? So thanks, John. I thought for a long time that I failed to sustain my first love because I wasn't woman enough. And I always thought that guys are way cooler than girls, and I just didn't know how you are a woman. Well, lucky enough, 3 really special ladies entered my life at that time. The first one was Angie, who replaced Dirt in our flat chair because Dirt went off to live with her girlfriend. And the other 2 were Eva and Dania, with whom I studied political sciences at the Free University in Berlin. Meeting them made me proud of being a woman myself for the very first time, because they were really gorgeous. They were intelligent and honest and strong and witty and sensual at the same time. So, alongside them, I was able to face my insecurities. together with the old accordion of my grandfather's, who died in January, and who would be really proud of me playing it right now. Sometimes I can hear him breathe. Still. Beyond the goblin city, to bring back the child that you have stolen. For my will is as strong as yours, and my kingdom is great. You have no power over me. Es ist eine schöne Welt. Sieh mal dort, es ist eine schöne Welt. But there are some decisions you can only make on your own. For so much of my communist East German, weird woman, precious only child worldview had fallen apart, not being replaced by anything new yet. Sometimes I couldn't even talk to my friends because I didn't know what about, because I didn't know what to believe in. And if you don't believe in what you're saying, you're lying, and I've never been a good liar. So, what to do? You could run circles on stage. You could pretend you're a rabbit. You could drop your father an email even though you haven't talked to him in 6 months. Or you could just go to a psychoanalyst. And let me tell you, that's a no-go for an East German girl, because they don't believe in this capitalist voodoo. And they don't need someone else to, again, mess with their minds, especially not those ones who have experienced fascism, communism, capitalism, twilightism all in one lifetime. But what can you do if you think you're severely schizophrenic and you need to be taken in for at least 6 months? So, I went to the dude, we talked. And after 30 minutes, he released me to go home, declaring me for perfectly sane. I was just furious. Because I thought he would see that I was special. That I was right out of my head. The way he described it, he said I'd be better dead than life. I didn't listen to his jive. I knew all along he was all wrong, and I knew that he thought I was crazy, but I'm not, oh no. Well, they say as a child I appeared a little bit wild with all my crazy ideas. But I knew what was happening, I knew I was a genius. Now what's so strange when you know that you're a wizard at 3? I knew that this was meant to be. Well, I heard the little children were supposed to sleep tight. That's why I drank 1/5 of vodka one night. My parents got frantic, didn't know what to do. But I saw some crazy scenes before I came to. Now, do you think I was crazy? I may have been only 3, but I was swinging. They all have to eat Graham. They all have to listen and also at Einstein. So why should I feel sorry for it? Just couldn't understand the reasoning and the logic that went on in my head. I had a brain, it was insane, so it just used to laugh at me when I refused to ride on all these double-decker buses, all because there was no driver on the top. Well, I guess it wasn't time to be special anymore. It was the time to get out of this nihilistic crisis and find out which one of these voices were actually me. And that's so hard to do because each one of these voices wants to be you, of course. Everyone wants to be me. So they tell you, pick me. 7 more days. So you have to make decisions nevertheless. First decision. If you will never meet God personally, and none of these voices can tell you whether the glass is half full or half empty, you might as well decide for the one that's just more fun and be an optimist about it. Second, fun. Socializing with your friends is fun. Talk is part of socializing. Well, allow yourself to talk, even though anything you say could be declared as bullshit or politically incorrect, right? Third, if none of these voices can tell you what you want to do with your life, maybe you should listen to your guts. Hello there. I totally forgot about them. But let me tell you, they are always right, except for when you have a crush on people, you always mistake them with something else. But in that case, my guts were telling me I want more physicality, drama, and music in my life. So I said goodbye to my solely mind-driven past. But now saying goodbye to your communist past isn't an easy thing to do. It's a bumpy road, even though I was supported by all my friends, who, by the way, are all West Germans. You know, right now, when I go back home, East Germans think I'm West Germans, and they hate me. It's awful. I guess I'm too West German now. Whatever. You have to go there and find out. You have to dig into a whole new sort of pop culture when you convert. And it starts when you're a little girl and your beloved teddy bears get replaced with Barbies. And nowadays, people just don't put their trust anymore into the good old earthly organic carrot. Instead, they use callus coat, shiny silver vibrators. But communism and capitalism didn't only sell you the things you don't need, they also sell you the things you will never get, like the perfect monogamous relationship with a vampire. I mean, I don't want to offend anybody. I'm drawn to these stories as well, but you know, if you could just say goodbye to Twilight and Vampire Diaries and just move towards True Blood, it's just a little more sophisticated. In terms of, it has a little more porn. But don't get me wrong, please. Whatever happens, I'm glad it happened with the peaceful revolution in my country in 1989, which, by the way, started in my home city, Leipzig. And my parents went to those initial demonstrations, only one at a time, for something might have happened to one of them, and then I would still have one parent left. And when my mother stood on the remains of the wall, she cried her guts out, realizing that she was finally free. And I will treasure that, for otherwise I wouldn't have met all my friends here, and I wouldn't have met you, never seen Glasgow. Don't you know they're talking about revolution sounds? Don't you know they're talking about revolution sounds like a whisper while they're standing in the welfare lines, crying at the doorsteps of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployed lines, sitting around waiting for promotion. Don't you know they're talking about like a whisper? Don't you know they're talking about revolution sounds like a whisper? Now, don't you know you better run, 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 talking about revolution. Oh, don't you know you better run, 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 talking about revolution. Oh, don't you know you better run, 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 talk about a revolution. Oh, don't you know you better run, 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 talking about the revolution. Oh, don't you know you better run, 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 talking about the revolution. Oh.